Welcome along to the Ladbrokes Social Club. As you can probably see this week, we are on location. We're at the lovely Hotel Football just outside Old Trafford, and as you can see beside me here, it's an important week. It is Responsible Gambling Week. So to kick things off, I want to read a message that you can find on the Ladbrokes website. It says, "We have a responsibility to help our customers gamble in a safe and responsible manner, and are completely committed to doing all that we can to encourage customers to gamble responsibly and to help those who develop gambling problems." And for any more information on that, do head to the Ladbrokes website. Right, time to introduce you to our panel this week. Daniel Cause here, as always, from Talking Balls. Good to see you. How are you?
Good, how are you,
Good. And three pundits who know all about the Northwest football scene. Welcome to Kevin Gallagher, first time in the show.
Thank you.
And when someone's on for a first time, we always have a nice photo, don't we?
Look at that there.
How you
That young whippersnapper.
See, I couldn't even grow a beard back then.
That was the 88 Cup final.
Yeah.
I like the shorts.
I don't want to make you feel. I was born in 89. Just to throw it in there.
No, I
Chris.
don't feel old, no.
That's
Because
it.
the thing is, that shows I've had a good life. And you for the hard paper now.
It's a good
It's
report.
very true.
Do you remember the day?
Oh, I remember it fondly. Big Roy Aitken just got on booked literally 2 minutes before that celebration. And the thing was, I'm actually celebrating with the Celtic fans there, because that was where my mates were.
Ah, there
I
you
changed
go.
the direction from the Dundee United fans.
Excellent info. Alan Stubbs back with us. Have you been in any boardrooms this week? Anything you want to tell us?
Not at all.
Nothing to report
not yet,
yet?
anyway.
We'll try that again later.
Yeah,
You never know.
don't worry,
We'll try again. Chris Sutton's back on the show. What have you been up to? Been at a big game yesterday, I think, up in this
The
part
big
of
one.
the world.
Yeah, Liverpool. There's to lose now, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
What do you think, Darryl?
8 points.
9 points to City, though.
Yeah, 8 point at the top. Is
To
that right?
Leicester. Leicester can't win it, can they?
I don't know, but it's an 8 point gap, Chris.
It is, yeah.
Anyway, should we stick to Scottish football for now?
Yeah.
Good, good. I wanted to ask you about Celtic first of all. Another important win yesterday, off the back of a brilliant week.
Yep. Look, I think that it wasn't the easiest game. Motherwell have been in pretty decent form. Phenomenal Celtic were the result in Italy, and then to come in and back it up. I mean, it's a serious title race, though, isn't it? Celtic winning 2-0, Rangers winning 2-0, and they're going toe-to-toe. It's going to go to the wire.
What are the fans saying?
Ian there on Twitter, Neil Lennon knows more about football than any of us. He can play hoopie at left back for all I care. I wouldn't recommend it personally, but and Dale McDowell, just one of a number of people talking about Scott Brown. Milestone, 550 games.
Is that a milestone?
You were going to say that.
What do you think?
Well, that's odd, isn't it? 550. It's normally 750, isn't it?
And he did
500,
celebrate.
750,
Celebrated
is that-
500 as well. So
Yeah.
but there you go. The man himself has been on Instagram and Twitter.
Milestone or not, Alan, 550 not out. Pretty good going.
Oh, it's amazing. It's some achievement, and to be honest, it's going to be 550 plus.
Yeah.
Because I think he's going to go over 600 comfortably the way he's been playing, as long as he stays fit.
Be a shock if it didn't go over 550.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I realised that when I said that.
What else they say?
Another man, another Celtic player that's been getting a lot of love on social media, Johnny Hayes. He's kind of been in the team a bit more recently. Adam Lynch, Johnny Hayes might not be the most gifted footballer in the world, but my God, that man gives everything he has for Celtic.
Thanks, Adam. Johnny
Damn
will
it
be
with fake
delighted.
praise there, but you get the picture. And Brian Murphy raising a good point. Mick McCarthy must have lost Johnny Hayes' phone number. Ludicrous he's not even in the Ireland squad, which I think is an interesting point, Darryl. He was great yesterday against Motherwell.
Yeah, never lets them down, I think you said,
Yeah, he's
during the week.
He's kept himself immensely fit, hasn't he? And he's always chucked in, launched in big games. And, the goal at Ibrox this season. And it's a huge game in the week against Lazio. Greg Taylor signed. We thought that, maybe he would be the next one in, and people talk about him being defensively sounder than Johnny Hayes, but phenomenal Johnny Hayes was.
How quickly did the fans change though? Look, Andrew, Johnny over ball and goalie now.
How do you know he's changed?
Well, all the fans were saying ball and
Well,
goalie.
he might not have changed.
Fantastic.
That might have been his opinion all along,
It's a
Darryl.
great point. You okay with the sunshine there? Yeah, it's a bad face right in your eye. Is that your good eye or a bad one?
Don't know which one.
Good.
You look pretty
I think
good.
that says it all.
It's a good point you make, though, Darryl. I think a lot of Celtic fans recently, ball and goalie was the sort of flavour of the month after
Thank
the
you,
game.
Daniel.
After the game at Ibrox. I don't know, but
I don't think that's a good point. We're now writing off Bolingoli, are
No,
we?
I'm not writing him off.
People are talking about he's back in form. Johnny Hayes plays 2 games, and he's the man.
What did you have for
Blimey, two
breakfast
are
today,
fickle.
Chris? Come out firing here. Anything special?
No.
Good. What do you make of this title race? we're seeing in Scotland?
Brilliant. I think it's good again. You know, I mean, I think you need it. I mean, Celtic over the last, was it 9 years, 8 years, have been ruling the roost again. Now you're seeing Rangers coming back. We used to see Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts really giving them a little bit of a push as well. Like, so now Rangers up there, goal difference, 1 goal in it. So it's pressure on Celtic.
And they kicked off at the same time yesterday. Rangers did the business away at Livingston as well. What are their fans saying on social media?
Well, here we go. That Joe Rebo was one of the men on social media who's getting a lot of praise from the Rangers fans.
Good goal, wasn't it? Good finish, Chris?
Yeah, it was a good finish. He had that serious injury not so long back at Livingston. Wonderful strike. They're a team, you know, full of confidence. Good result, you know, against Porto, and I mean they are impressing, and they've got plenty of depth in their squad.
Wait, Joe Rebo himself has tweeted out, taken to Twitter, 3 points in a row. Good to finally get my league goal. I didn't realise I hadn't scored in the league yet. It's quite interesting.
Should have known that.
Ali Stewart there, obviously tweeting as well about beers all around the world. At Haribo, love him so. And Alfredo Morelos is the most complete Rangers striker since McCoist. Don't know what you guys think of that.
I'll be a bit harsh on Kenny Miller, I think. Kenny Miller done well at Rangers, didn't he? And thought he'd done a lot of hard work, a lot of goals for Rangers as well. So, you know, man, for me, it's a bit harsh, but I mean, can't take away from Coisty. He was fantastic at Rangers the years he was there, the servant that he's been. But I think it's a tall call, that one.
What do you think, Alan? On Fox
I think the biggest thing for me this season is the fact that he's spending more time on the pitch. You know, he's growing up as an individual. You know, I think in his early part of, he was a bit immature. I think he's got a big move in him. You know, he's getting better and better each week. He can play in the Premiership, no problem.
For who?
I'd say at this moment in time, I think.
You can't say big
Palace,
move and now say Southampton, can you?
Well, no. Well,
Everton's coming here.
Big move, is it?
No, well, exactly.
Yeah.
So you said big.
He's been linked with Crystal Palace, but
What's his ceiling then?
for me, well, Everton are crying out for a striker at the moment.
You just said big move and then you threw Everton in.
Okay, Chris, put that on Twitter. I'm sure you get some responses to that.
Just as well you've just left Liverpool. You're not going back now.
No, he's definitely. I think he's a top 10 striker.
What do you think then, Chris?
What was the question?
What's his ceiling? How high can he go in the game?
I think he needs to do it for longer. I'm a bit like Alan in terms of this season. I think he really has matured disciplinary-wise. You know, he's keeping himself on the pitch, and some of the finishes. The finish against Porto. You know, we're seeing a different Morelos this season, and fair play to him. He probably needs to do it over a longer period of time, though.
Kamara as well being praised.
Glenn Kamara.
Social media, loads of tweets about him. Good
Absolutely.
game yesterday, didn't he, Alan? And in fact in Europe midweek.
Yeah, he seems to have really come onto his game. I think he's been hyped up. What are you laughing at now?
Yeah, he has been hyped up. A great display in world football history.
I think Mark might have been.
You know,
There might be a touch of hyperbole there, but I don't know.
when you're winning games of football, fans can get a little bit hyped up, can't they? You know what I mean?
Well, Gary's gone big as well.
There's other things involved, not just hype.
Gary there, a list of players in world football better than Glenn Kamara. End of list.
How long have we got?
Well, look, Stephen Gerrard has said there's been loads of scouts recently there to watch him.
Yeah.
Premier League scouts. Is he another one long term? Rangers fans will want to keep him. You think he'd be good enough to go to that level? He was an Arsenal Academy graduate once upon
What's
a
his
time.
ceiling, Chris?
Yeah, come on, Chris.
Well, I tell you, my view is do it for longer. We're judging him. He was good at Dundee, and okay, he's moved to a big club in Rangers, but he's only been in the door 5 minutes. Hold your horses.
And that
That's
last
my
tweet at the
feeling,
bottom there, I
Darryl.
was going to say. Last tweet, you get £1 if you can work out the word that's been blurred out. Just keep that in your own minds though, okay? I wouldn't shout any options out loud.
It's a game for the fans at home, Darryl.
It is. I'm sure a few of them could work it out pretty quickly.
Before we move on from Celtic and Rangers, Darryl, we asked for fans talking about Instagram to get in touch. One here from Jack. This I think is for everyone. Is the Premiership season going to the final game? What do you think?
Well, the way it's going for me at the minute, it chops and changes, doesn't it? I think other clubs are going to have a big say in it, away from home. We've seen Celtic drop points, we've seen Rangers drop points. It's in their hands, to be fair, but it's going to go, I think, personally, to the wire.
Guys?
I don't necessarily think it's going to go down to the wire, but I think we're going to get to it. I think at least
2 games.
No, at least end of February, beginning of March.
But that's early. if it finishes then.
It's not, because we're going to be April, isn't it? It's going to be April when the season finishes. So that's not to the wire, is it?
If it finishes in April,
you know, that's
lost
potentially 6 games there.
Yeah. I think it'll go to the wire.
Thanks, Chris.
Maybe
Cheers for
not
that.
last game, maybe February.
European football have a chance in it as well, won't it? The further they go in Europe, could have a big say, the depth of squad, injuries, suspensions. That's going to have a massive say in it as well. So they're going to have to utilise their full squad.
Yeah. A few other teams to look at who've done well over the weekend. Big result for Hearts.
Huge
wasn't
result, Darryl. 5-2 against St Mirren at home. They went in, tied at the bottom of the league. I think St Mirren only in goal difference were bottom. 5-2. Stephen Naismith, the main man that seems to be getting a lot of amongst Jambo fans. Joe Haggerty, Stephen Naismith is a god amongst men, should be the captain. Stephen Naismith, though, what an unreal impact he has on this team. He's absolutely invaluable, never stops communicating, passion and fight ooze from him. He's just bloody magnificent, which is
one of those players
quite a rundown from Rachel. If you're Craig Levine watching that, you must kind of think, you maybe wish you'd had him more, him, Jamie Walker maybe?
Well, he's been injured, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's just come back, and I mean, you've got to give him a chance. And I mean, the way he took his goal for the corner was fantastic. For me now, getting him back into the Scotland setup now is massively important.
Do you think he's
We've
the
got
starting
young
striker?
players. I think if he'd have played more games after his injury, I think it's a good opportunity that he's going to be the main man for me. But you know, the opportunities have arisen. We've seen Shankland at Dundee United take a step into, and okay, it was San Marino, but it's Cyprus, and I wouldn't say Cyprus are too much better than San Marino. So you could give Shankland another opportunity to progress. And Stephen, no, you'll definitely be on the bench, and his experience will be valuable.
They need him back, but what about the manager's position? Austin McPhee did a very good job at the weekend. The fans, Daniel, do they want McPhee now?
It's certainly causing a lot of discussion on social media, Darryl. The feeling in social media seems to be not entirely in favour of Austin McPhee. Lewis Russell, not a major fan of Austin McPhee, but impressed with his press conference and what he had to say in the matters. Whitburn Hearts as well, fair play to Austin McPhee, still don't want him to get the gig full time though. I think he's definitely a very esteemed coach. He's got a decent reputation in the game. I don't know if it's what Hearts need right now. I don't know what you guys think.
I think if he obviously has got a reputation, but obviously with Michael Neal going to Stoke and with them having that relationship and all with Noel Ireland, you would have thought if the two of them get on really well and he is that important, would he not then be going with Michael? I know he might want to become a manager himself. I don't necessarily think it's potentially the right call for Hearts. I think they need to go down a different route. This is, you know, the same guy who's been under Craig.
Yeah.
You know, and if there were certain things that might have been changing, then I would expect my assistant to be telling me things. You know, I don't like it when sometimes you play a certain way and then the manager goes and then you play a different way. You know, that's just my own personal opinion.
Do you think it'll hamper him long term, McPhee, in the decision-making process, working with the previous boss?
Well, I think the Hearts fans, you know, it's a brilliant result at the weekend, of course it is, but, you know, if he has a bad run, he's always going to get the old Levine stick beaten with that. I think we'll see the Motherwell manager move to Hearts, Darryl.
Yeah?
Oh, wow.
During this international break?
That's the word on the street.
Big shout.
Who have you been speaking to?
I can't reveal my sources, Darryl.
I think I
You
might
know that.
I think I might know.
No.
St Mirren, obviously not a good day for them. They've actually been defending well all season, then they go and concede 5 goals. But the fans are in on this cause.
This has been gathering quite a lot of steam in recent weeks on social media. So this is Josh McGuinness, a St Mirren fan that was at the game. Another great away support, but £29. Absolutely ridiculous. Over £150,000 in £20 copies as we continue to protest. Greedy hands and empty seats, I think sums it up quite well. I think this, as we talked about it in the show previously, away fans talking about 20's plenty for away games. £29. I don't know what you guys think. That seems like a lot of money to me. I think something has to be done.
Yeah.
It would help Kevin, wouldn't it? Try and fill the ground, cheaper tickets for
I
away
think
fans.
I personally would prefer to fill the ground. I mean, as a player, I think the atmosphere in a full stadium is far better than one with 3/4 empty. So for me, is fill the stadium and then take it from there. But I mean, at the price, when you've seen the programme, you guys were talking about it, definitely. You know, I mean, bring the prices that are affordable to the fans. Because now
£20 as well to watch St Mirren, that's plenty.
Alan's not going to disagree with you there. Because he gets on really well.
I'm not even getting involved in this conversation. It's not.
Good.
I don't want to upset Anna either.
No, don't upset him. That's a good point though, because we can move on to Hibs with you now. What did you make of that at the weekend? Heckingbottom goes and then they score all these goals as well. And Doidge with a hat-trick. And as you probably know, if you've seen the show in recent times, Alan, you were on recently, the Hibs fans were giving Christian Doidge an absolute battering.
When you look at the two Edinburgh sides, lose the managers, and they've had two really positive results this weekend. I don't necessarily like to see that, if I'm being honest. I know Hibs changed and went two up top, which a lot of the fans have been asking to see.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Canberra hasn't started more.
He looked right up for this.
He had a couple of assists for Doidge in his goals. Because for me, I like Canberra. He's, as a centre half, he's one that I necessarily wouldn't relish playing against, because he'll give you the game.
He left him out, didn't he? Heckingbottom.
Yeah.
And then Canberra had him on. He got him back in. Missed a chance the other week.
He did.
But he does seem to be a little bit of a temperamental player, Alan.
Yeah.
If it's fair to say.
Yeah. He does, Chris.
And the
There you
fans?
go, it's fair.
Yeah, strong, as you'd imagine, a strong reaction from Hibs fans. Hibs Central here, a big Hibs account. Strong performance from the boys, well done to Eddie, Grant and Witts. Tactically spot on and set up brilliantly. Players actually knew their roles and it was evident. Special mention to Doidge, who I thought was brilliant, well-deserved hat-trick and silenced the critics, me included. I did think it was one of the signs of the apocalypse, Doidge scoring a hat-trick, so it was good to see him finally get off the map though.
Don't tell me he was in your fantasy football team.
That's why I'm saying it there, because he was in it for weeks and didn't perform, and so I'm a bit bitter if I'm honest, but we'll leave that behind. Another talking point, Ross Pilcher, if you just look at the second tweet down, Harry Kewell, he was at the St John's thing at the weekend, now spotted at Anfield, Christian Doidge to Liverpool.
I saw him yesterday at Anfield. Had a chat with him. We had a scone.
Is he going to be the Liverpool manager? Is that why he was there?
No, certainly not.
So is he going to be the Hibs manager, Alan, or is it just a quirk of fate?
Well,
I'm not the one who's making the decisions. He's obviously interested in the job, and that'll be up for.
Turn up and you get
Leanne.
linked.
Exactly.
well, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
I haven't been there.
Harry Kewell going to Perth to watch a game of football. St Johnstone, Hibs. Slightly odd, Darryl. Maybe something in it.
Might be something. What do you think, Chris? What can you tell us? What's your source saying?
I don't think he's going to get the job.
So then, Chris, I would ask you, who
Ross,
should
probably.
Jack Ross?
Should he? I'm not so sure, but he seems to be the favourite at the moment. Not Harry Kewell. Never know though.
You were on the show last week. Hours later, the news came out. Heckingbottom had been dismissed.
Yeah.
I know you didn't really want to talk about your own position at that point. There was a man in the job. There's no longer a man in the job. So where do you stand with this, Alan?
I stand with what I've always said, is that I've got a real affection for the club. I don't think if there was an interest, I don't necessarily think I'd have an interview, because Leanne and everyone knows what I can do. So listen, they know where I am. They know where Leanne's got my number. If they needed me at any point to come back, I would more than happy to come back.
So just to be
but
clear,
I think they may go in a different direction.
Just to be clear, there has been no call yet. That's not happened this week. You've not discussed the position.
No, there's been no call, and I don't necessarily expect one, if I'm being honest.
Would you do an interview if they asked you to do?
He doesn't need to. He's just said.
Yeah, but he may be asked. He may be asked.
Yeah,
Darryl.
'cause
that's a follow-up question.
Okay, good question.
They've got
Corrected.
a new owner. You don't know whether he's involved in the interview process. So I don't know whether he's just left it to Leanne, to Graham. Obviously, he was going to be involved in it, becoming the new director of football or sporting director. So
Is that a yes or a no?
I've
If
just
they
told
offered you
I've
the
just
job,
told
would you take it?
yes.
There you go. We got there in the end.
But I did say that, though, Chris.
He kind of did say that. But that was good, though. I like that.
But for you, Chris, yes.
Good. That was excellent, though.
Yeah.
Just to make it quite clear, it was good.
Yeah.
You've done my job for me.
Get there
Thanks
earlier,
very much.
Darryl.
Thanks. And you've got loads of questions.
There's been loads of questions on Instagram. You've kind of stole my thunder there a bit though, guys, to be honest. We've got Doogie.
Sorry, Dan.
That's sorry, don't worry about it. It's Doogie, Stan, Lee, all asking about you coming back. And you've actually literally, almost word for word, stole my thunder. Doogie saying, just to check, Leanne Dempster does have your phone number.
Yeah, she does,
She
yeah.
definitely does.
Yeah.
Right, okay, just make sure. Good.
Anything else?
No, that's it. I'm okay for
But
that.
basically, there was loads of questions that did come in. They want to know whether you would go back. You've made that
Yeah,
quite
absolutely.
clear. And it sounds like a lot of them want Alan back.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not your agent or anything, but you know, I mean, we could talk.
Yeah,
but,
we'll
we'll have a chat.
We can have a
But
chat off screen.
Definitely a lot of fans. That's definitely
I'd go for someone more high profile.
What, as house boss or as agent? Who are you talking to and about?
Danny.
Right, okay. Right, I'll have to rush through the rest of the games and we probably won't even get through them all. But Aberdeen, a lot of social media love for another victory. And a few weeks ago, they lost heavily to Celtic, as you know, Kevin, and since then they've won all their matches. Good, I mean, it's a great response, actually.
It's a great, but that's what you're looking for as a response. When you get a heavy defeat, unexpected one, you want that response. And to be fair that was the one that they had to get for me. There was 3 points needed to get, so 3 points they got.
Yeah, Niall McGinn, good goal as well in the match. He's chipped in.
I was going to say,
They've missed it.
that was the Aberdeen fans
That was Bernabeu.
enjoying their afternoon out, but an absolute cracker from now again.
Yeah. Considine scored in the game as well. Chris, you
Good
slammed
record
them.
against Ross County.
They do. You slammed them a few weeks ago on
Yeah.
that Celtic game. Are you
I
surprised?
wasn't the
that
only
they
one. I think
turned
the
it around?
manager slammed them.
No,
Darryl.
no, you weren't. Are
Don't
you
single
surprised
me
that
out.
9 points out of 9 since?
Not really, and you know, I think that there were managers sort of wanting a bit of a change who have been moaning about McInnes.
Fans?
Yeah, sorry, fans. Yeah, thank you.
Which managers?
Yeah, that would be
What's
interesting.
your
No, that would be another debate. Yeah, that
That'd
would
have
be
been a line.
interesting. So really, you know, he shut them up. Really good response. You know, it's tricky. You know, they've sold so many of the good players over the seasons, and you know, recruitment is the biggest thing in football. But back on track, third, in a good place again.
Yeah, briefly. Kilmarnock, Hamilton were 2 up. A certain Sam
Good
Stubbs
point.
saw red. Good point. Good point on the road.
Yeah, he did, and I think in the letter of the law, you know, you can argue it's sending off.
Do you think Brophy was getting the ball? Does it matter?
No, I don't. And some people say it does matter. Some people say it doesn't matter. He just has to learn from it. You know, that's it. You know, no harsh words. You know, so he's doing okay, and that's
He's not
the
been
main
reprimanded in the house?
Not at all. Not at all. He's welcome home this week.
Good. Alessio, of course. Alessio, obviously, the voted manager of the month. Ladbrokes Premiership manager of the month, and since then they've not won.
Sometimes can happen, can't it? He has done a really good job. You know, the same under pressure early on. He had a really good run. You know, so, and it's fully deserved. You know, I picked Steven Gerrard, but I think, you know, you can't argue with.
You voted?
Yeah, I picked. Yeah. I didn't pick him. No, you asked me last week who would go
I
for.
did. Oh, yeah, on the show.
Yes, and I said Steven, but he won it.
He did.
I really like Alessio. I think I'm so really happy for him. Seems like a nice man as well. Do you know what I mean? Nice face, nice friendly guy. Happy for him.
Should we touch on the Championship since Kevin's here? I think you were watching the Dundee Derby. What are you laughing at?
Nice face.
That's how he judges everyone.
You even went all nice when you said that. Nice face, you changed your voice and everything.
Nice face, you know.
Right, Dundee United tweets. What did you make of the game on Friday and your old team right now, who are looking at the moment like they might be heading back up finally to the top flight, Kev?
Well, they're finally getting it together. I think still 1 or 2 games, there's been 1 or 2 question marks and decision makings within the game and how the team's been playing. But for me, you know, that result, the derby matches are big for them. To get that result and put them away ahead, for me, stemmed it up this season for them. They are one of the favourites, or to me, they are the favourites to come back up. And it'd be massive to see them back in the Scottish Premier League again.
I don't know if you saw the financial results recently, but they're investing a lot of money this season. You just feel they absolutely have to do it this time. It's been, 4 seasons? It's been too long for a club like United.
It has, and sometimes you've got to speculate to accumulate. That's what they've done. But they've also gotten a guy called Lawrence Shankland into the side now from Ayr United. And for me, that now, you're looking at the goals that he's getting, a look around the team, and there's not many other goals. So we're pinning a lot of chances on him getting the goals, and I mean, he's benefiting from it, he's scoring goals, he's on a high, and long may it continue.
The fans pretty happy, I assume?
Absolutely. We've had a lot of questions in actually specifically for yourself, Kevin, if that's all right.
Yeah.
We obviously, you've just addressed will Dundee United go up. Craig is asking your favourite Dundee United memory, and will they go up as champions?
I think they'll go up as champions. I do. I honestly believe that. I see the squad now that they're getting together. It's just there's 1 or 2 injuries. He's reshaped the defenders. He's reshaped it since the defeat, the back-to-back defeats with them. So now he's reshaped that. It looks like to me that they're picked back up again, and I think overall we will be stronger. So for me, yeah, it's definitely champions.
Favourite Dundee United memory?
I've got loads. Cup final, Scottish Cup final, scoring against, as I say, my boyhood heroes. Unfortunately, I was in the losing side. Again, UEFA Cup final, probably UEFA quarter final for me. Barcelona goal. Did he mean it? Did he not? Still gets asked to this day. So probably one of my world famous goals that I still don't know if I meant it or not. So for me,
You don't know. We'll
I
never
don't
know
that. And I know as a young lad at the time I was so excited, and I believe I said in the interview that I meant it. I don't know. I always blame Paul Sturrock. He had the worst touch in the world for a set piece, and it flew back at me. I hit it in the back of the net. I didn't care. It was Barcelona. It was Zubizarreta, one of the world's best. And for me, it's always there.
And I just need to crowbar this in, Darryl. Noah has been in touch asking if you've got any really good, embarrassing Chris Sutton stories from you guys putting together.
There's probably a few.
Legal ones.
Oh, please, no, I'd rather have the other ones if I'm quite honest.
We Sutton, I mean, a good one, he'll remember it. Him and Billy McKinley, when the two of them were together at Blackburn, were unbelievable. They used to wear beanie hats. And in the beanie hats, when we'd leave our tea, there was potatoes and spaghetti in the hats. So when the boys came out after our dinner and we're going away, and you're going up the staircase, all of a sudden there's a barrage of potatoes and spaghetti hitting you from all over. And that was him. You could never say booty a goose, but I'll tell you what, it was, you had to keep an eye on him.
Just to be clear, you're saying he was a horrible human being.
On those occasions, yeah.
Misunderstood, Darryl.
Any stories about Kev at Blackburn?
See, that was a quiet one.
Hey, hold on, wait a minute, maybe not.
Yeah.
I'll tell you after, Darryl.
Oh, it's an after dinner one. Right. On the Blackburn years, though, since we've got you here, I mean, what a time that was in your career. We're talking about Dundee United, but the success down here as well.
Oh, it was awesome. It was great getting there. And when I arrived, it was the old Ewood Park was just getting rebuilt, getting brought down. Seeing the old stadium, coming into the new stuff, so it was growing. And the picture that for me that Jack and Kenny were putting together was a big selling point. It was brilliant for me because Alan Shearer had a cruciate injury, so they're looking for a new striker to replace him, and they came out and bought me, so I thought, brilliant. So then as we progressed, I broke my leg deliberately so that we could go out and buy Chris Sutton and bring Sutton in,
Best thing you've ever done for him.
and we could have the SES, and we put the SES together and we go and win the league. So I've got a big claim to fame within it, so I'm happy with it, but it was great.
He owes you a lot, doesn't he?
Oh, massive. He didn't realise it, but it says, you know, we had to sacrifice a big sacrifice just to get him in. But
I think when you look back, though, what a squad that was. What a group of
Brilliant
players.
squad. You know, to see what Blackburn are now, and you know they're a club which are doing okay in the Championship. You know, the years we were there under Jack, full stadium. You know, a side going toe to toe with Manchester United, and even after. I mean, the league, of course, was the pinnacle, 94-95. But we had good times. Yeah. Roy Hodgson when he first came in, and myself and Kevin played up top together, and I have to say I really enjoyed my partnership with Kevin. Kevin, really unselfish player.
I don't know.
Most of the time, he was, but a really fantastic footballer, a good football brain, and I think we had a good partnership. A lot of goals we scored.
It's nice to be nice, isn't it?
This not nice to everybody, but
I can't take it away from him because I look back in my career and twice as a centre forward career. Once with Mixed Part of Lining, I got my highest goal scoring record here in Scotland, and then the only other time really that I had a full season with another fellow striker, was with Sutton. And we go on, and the year we won the league, and Alan and Sutton got 46 goals between 49. you. 49. But then we got something like 42 between us. And you kind of look at that, but it was never mentioned in the same because you don't go on and win the trophy. But we got them back to Europe.
We don't have to
Also,
be like you praise me, I praise you, but there was a goal Kevin scored. There was a goal Kevin scored at Arsenal, I do believe. We beat Arsenal at Highbury, proper Arsenal team. Adams, Bold, Vieira, Petit, and we stuffed them 3-1, and he did score. Google that one, people.
No?
It was some goal. Some goal.
And the problem is, right, SAS sounds quite good. Gas, on the other hand.
Or SAG.
Yes. Or SAG. Yeah. Oh, you put yourself first again, are you? It's pathetic. SAG,
no, we were gas, but we ended up SAG. That's where we ended up.
But also, while you're here, I wanted to ask you, because obviously you live down here, you're watching Scottish football a bit as well now. Do you think Scottish football this week in particular is starting to get the respect it deserves again when you look at what Celtic have done in Europe and Rangers as well? I know there's loads of social media activity on this, but do you think people are, particularly when Brendan Rodgers was at Celtic and Stephen Gerrard still at Rangers, people are taking note again?
They are. I think they do. Down here, they're definitely taking more charge in it as well. And a guy that I know really, really well follows Rangers, and he's pushing it like mad now, because they are taking an interest back in Scotland again. But for me, outside the Old Firm, I'll look at other teams, because that's the way that I wanted to do it. I look at the Aberdeens, the Dundee Uniteds, the Hibs, the Hearts, and see how they're all doing in contention, because one day you're hoping that maybe the Old Firm can drop and they can take charge. But it's never happening, because I see it, and I've been part of it, where Celtic, if teams are dominating, what do? They go out and take the better players and weaken them, and they go on. And again, year after year, they're going to take the titles, and it's fantastic for them. It's great for Celtic. Now Rangers are, I think, they're back, and it's going to be a tester for Celtic next few years.
I mean, it was a real fill-up during the week, wasn't it? All this social media activity, which is not just coming from Scottish fans, Alan. After, first of all, what Celtic did away at Stadio Olimpico, and you can see Celtic1967.com there, the tweet, what a night it finishes with. Gary Nelson involved there as well, Alan. But, I mean, this is what Scottish football needs.
It is, you know, and obviously the coefficient's going to take a step in the right direction for this, but I don't think it's any coincidence that you see a stronger Rangers, I think as strong as they've been for the last probably 5-10 years, you know, are helping Celtic push on now, because I think in the 8 titles that they've won, you know, they've not really been pushed in some of them, you know, whereas now they're certainly focused because they know Rangers are on a different level now to what they have been over the last few years.
Yeah, as you say, there a really strong reaction on Twitter. I mean, Robert obviously hammering home there the fact that Steven Gerrard, Spartak Moscow, Villarreal, Warsaw, Feyenoord and now Porto, all of Ibrox haven't even scored a goal, never mind taking a point, which is pretty emphatic. We've got a lot of questions on Instagram about this as well for the guys. If
go for it, absolutely.
If that's all right. So I think a good one, I think, is for all the panel. Jack's 45. Has Neil Lennon perhaps this week shown up Brendan Rodgers slightly in Europe?
Interesting debate, that, isn't it? You know, Rodgers, you know, when he first took over the Champions League against Manchester City, that was something else with the money City had spent and to go toe-to-toe. But you have to say, you know, Neil Lennon in Europe, I think Celtic fans felt or feel that he is more adaptable, i.e. changing, you know, and matching up Lazio in the week. And that never really happened under Brendan Rodgers. He was a bit of a one-trick pony. If, you know, I have to say it as it is, he was come down south. He's done a brilliant job at Leicester, and that's not saying Brendan wasn't a fantastic manager.
By doing what he
Seven
did,
trophies
as he made this Celtic team better, by sticking to the principles, which did unfortunately lead to a few batterings in Europe.
Has Brendan Rodgers?
As Brendan, by
no,
playing, sticking to those principles, has it made some players better?
It's not his team, is it now?
No, but I'm asking you, did he improve a number of players? Has it helped in the long run?
I think he got the best out of, you know, when he first went in, he got the best out of, you know, a number of the players. His first season was phenomenal. You have to say, in Europe, he, you know, eased off a little bit, and results weren't great. I mean, it was an eye-opener, you know, the game in the week. If we're all honest, you know, I was there watching the game, and you thought Celtic had that really good period.
I didn't notice you were there. You were very quiet on the night, actually.
But they had that good period, and then you just thought they've missed opportunities, final ball, this, that, and the other, and there's going to be another one of those glorious nights where, you know, they play well, but we end up losing. So for it to end as it did, and for Celtic to go through, was phenomenal. And then for Rangers to back that up with their victory, it was a really good night for Scotland in Europe. And we haven't had loads of them, if we're being honest.
No, we've waited a long time.
And there's been a lot of talk on social media as well, just about Europe, but how Scotland are actually pretty close to the second Champions League spot.
Yeah, the coefficient's on the up.
16th just behind Cyprus, and 15th, it's like a 5-year cycle.
Yeah.
So it's coming up if we can just finish above Cyprus.
Let's hope we get that. Absolutely.
crossed.
One other thing that Scottish football doesn't have, Kevin, you'll have noticed, is VAR. Is it a good thing now? A lot of tweets on this as well. But I mean, what we're seeing down here at the moment, it seems to be a mess.
For me, I'm not a VAR fan. I think it's spoiling a lot of football. Yes, you're still getting the conversations, but for me, it's taking away the refereeing of the game.
Are you a Scottish referee fan, though?
A Scottish referee.
So you're not a VAR fan, are you a Scottish referee
It's another
fan?
question.
Well, it's going back, isn't it? I mean, yes, the game's moved slightly forward. It's a little bit more difficult for the referees. But for me now, VAR is actually refereeing for the referee. So the referee's scared to make a decision. So I don't think referees should be scared to make that decision. It's make it. Okay, if the television proves them wrong, it's in certain areas for me that it should be used. Not 5 minutes further back and rewind the clock 5 minutes before you come back to the incident. It should be there and then. There should be points where, no, we don't have to take it back. Boom, you stop it. But it's been working in Germany, and it works really well.
Yeah.
Why is it not working in the English game?
Pitchside monitors for a start. I think they're not using them enough, Alan. But I think a lot of Scottish
They've not used
football,
them at all.
No, they've not yet. Scottish football fans seem to be happy now. They've gone the other way, most of them. They're happy they don't have VAR because what they're seeing.
Are you telling me Scottish football fans are happy with the
a
standard
lot
of
of the
refereeing?
tweets, social media activity has. Well, that's again, you're talking about referees now.
Yeah.
So you're saying we need VAR because you don't think
No,
the
I'm
refs
not.
are good
I
enough in
don't
Scotland?
know. We need, Scotland needs better refs. Full stop. That's it.
So VAR might help in the meantime. Is that what you're suggesting here,
Anything would help. Daryl.
Alan?
I think everyone's confused. VAR was brought in to clear everything up and help the referees. I was saying to Chris before, VAR needs help now. But from who?
Yeah.
Because it's referees who are dealing with VAR. But VAR was brought in to help referees. And we're still making the same mistakes.
VAR's out doing
It's taking
VAR.
too long. There's no interaction with fans. Fans haven't got a clue what's going on at games.
Yeah.
We're waiting 3 minutes for decisions. And then before we know it, another decision has taken less than 10 seconds. It's just, everyone's confused there.
Rugby have got it right. Why can't we copy rugby?
You guys think stick with it? Because they will get it right eventually? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I think it's been so bad, and I was one who wanted to give VAR a chance, but I think it's been awful. We were told the on-field referees at the briefings were making the final decision. It was their decision, and then that's being taken away from them now. It's the people at Stockley Park who are making the final decision, and they're not using the monitors. You've already touched on that.
Yeah.
I think there's been a real ignorance from people who are using it to think that we could just bring it in and everything could be fine. And they haven't done enough with it. And I think there's a real, and I think it's an English ignorance that they've done with. And
Why are you
been
pointing
caught
at me
out
when
now.
you're saying English ignorance?
It was the ignorance. It wasn't the English bit.
Yeah. But there is, you know, and I think that's why they're being caught out. We all know how ignorant you are anyway, Chris.
Oh, thanks for saying it. Thanks for saying it. I think you've just made
I can see you nodding,
No, you make a lot of people happy there. A lot of people happy. Right, Scots playing well down south. Well, in fact, not all of them playing well this weekend, as we're about to see, but a lot of social media activity on this as well. Billy Gilmore playing for Chelsea again at the weekend, and a young Scot getting a chance. That's great to see.
It's good that he's getting in the limelight now. A lot of people have been talking about him for the last 2 months or so. So it's just getting that continuous run for Billy and get the opportunity. And you can bring young players into the squad and give them that experience. And that will help them for the future as well, because then they're mingling with the guys and then you're not overawed when you're coming in. You're actually mingling with the lads that are
Be
doing
in
it.
the Scotland team instead of who?
Well, it's a great
That's where
midfield.
Scotland are strong.
Yeah.
Well, I would say those just to back Ramsey McDonald up there, you could have at least had him in the squad.
Yeah, I was going to say the squad.
Aye, maybe not
Who
the
would
team.
you leave out then in central midfield?
I mean, it's Cyprus and Kazakhstan, 2 meaningless games.
A lot of
I mean,
midfielders are not. Well, a lot of them are not going to play anyway,
Who
Chris.
would you leave out?
I don't have the squad in front of me here, Chris, but
I'll tell you now.
Armstrong?
There's always going to be
Yeah,
injuries.
Is he playing enough?
But you could always come
He
and
played
train,
at the
couldn't
weekend.
He could
You
come
always
and train.
Let's bring them. Going back to
Still
the
not
international
answered.
setup when we done it, you always brought young players.
Yeah.
So like we call them hamper carriers. You took the young players and gave them the experience, and that's what they were. They just came basically to train, to mingle with the guys, and kind of grow up and see what the future is about. You don't have to actually play them; it's just bring them along, be part of it.
just on the point you guys are making, that bring them along, that's what Andy Robertson was, of course, under Gordon Strachan, and he was so good, he ended up playing. And that, Chris, a perfect segue to Andy Robertson, who was...
Well, what a game he had, as you saw firsthand, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, did it really surprise everybody, his delivery for Salah's goal? Absolutely not. He's been doing it for so long now. Phenomenal. Both the Liverpool fullbacks are going forward. I actually think Andy Robertson's better defensively than Alexander-Arnold, but just a phenomenal footballer. And I suppose Scottish fans are frustrated because they think he doesn't really do it for them as much.
Well, he hasn't shown that yet. In a team clearly not quite as good. Look, you asked which midfielder he might come in for. There might be a place, because Scott McTominay was injured yesterday. He was taken off at the end of the game, so it sounds like he's about to pull out the squad, Alan. But again, getting praise from Man United fans.
Yeah, I think it's the one area where Scotland seems to be really strong in terms of left back, middle of midfield, and striker and maybe centre backs as the main positions that they're crying out for. I don't think it's going to affect Scotland too much, in terms of if he is injured.
He's been very good though.
Yeah, he has
recently.
been, and not to say that he's not good, but I'm just, in terms of they've got a real dearth of talent in that area that, if one of the main ones does get injured, it's not going to affect.
If he is fit, would you put him in the team?
McTominay.
Yeah.
To me, the last couple of games he's played more as a holding midfielder in there. For me, I thought he's been outstanding. I think for that reason, you want him really in the team to sit in that area because it allows McGregor to get forward in areas that he does it with Celtic. You know what I mean? I think when McTominay doesn't play, McGregor drops back. I don't think he's as effective for me for Scotland at getting forward.
No
Jack,
Jack,
that
then
type of
you're
player.
ruling Jack out. Big call.
We can talk and talk.
Somebody has to.
Time is slightly against us here.
that's
I've
a
not even
shame.
got to fantasy football, but one of the reasons we're here, as you know, some of you are invited anyway to the North West Football Awards, and I say some of you. Chris, did you get your invite?
Have I not been invited?
No, I don't think so. It's Alan who drew the line at ignorant, and then he dished the rest out at that point. So you're not, but loads of awards tonight. I'm going to ask you about the goal of the season in the North West soon, so you can have a look. They're up there. But manager of the season, this is going to be interesting tonight because you get Klopp, Guardiola, Casey Stone, the Man United women coach, Graham Alexander, Salford City, Mickey Mellon as well. Go on, give me a winner there. Tough category.
Manager of the season?
North West football
Klopp.
manager of the season.
Klopp.
Okay. Anyone disagree with that? Man City champions last year.
As much as we'd
Liverpool won
like
the
to.
game.
Yeah.
We've got to go
I'd
with
like
Klopp.
to, but
I'd like to go a little bit down towards Mickey Mellon down the bottom,
Yeah.
but I think, to be fair, Jurgen Klopp.
Mickey Mellon over Klopp.
Yeah.
There's a headline. He probably voted.
I've not voted yet. We can
There you
vote
go.
later.
Vote
We'll
tonight.
later.
Player of the season briefly, because you've got Van Dijk, Bernardo Silva,
Come on.
and Luke Shaw. He's in the running. I don't think he's going to win it.
well,
No.
Not to be harsh. Who wins it though? Van Dijk, Bernardo Silva, Van Dijk. I must.
Van Dijk.
Would you put Silva up? It was City's players from last season. That fair? Bernardo?
Yeah, I think he had a good season last season.
Okay, so Van Dijk for you?
Not Luke Shaw.
No, didn't think so.
Sure, look.
So the goal then. I mean, there's some beauties here. I know you were looking at some of them earlier on. What's your? And you can vote all the way up to the award.
Yeah, I will
actually
be.
gets
I will
presented
be.
tonight.
Yeah.
So you can,
Maybe I'll get an invite.
you can vote from
all
home.
the way
Vote
up.
from home, Chris.
No,
I doubt it. I doubt it.
You haven't?
company for me.
Yeah, because the context of that game.
Did he not slice that a bit?
I think you've sliced a few in the time, Chris, haven't you?
He sliced it right into the top corner, Chris.
I'm going to say, because these boys are all elitist, I'm going to say Danny Rowe.
Yeah.
What? I mean, the occasion, FA Trophy, final, winning goal, brilliant free kick.
More important than companies.
Well, for Danny Rowe, I mean, let's not be disrespectful to Fylde. No. Darryl?
No, we shouldn't.
It's FA Trophy though, Chris.
Yeah, yeah.
FA
It's
Trophy,
important to
Premier
Fylde,
League.
Yeah. No, I get that, but
No,
wonderful.
I'm company.
Yeah.
I'll go for the slice. I'll go for the company slice.
The 35-yard slice.
Yeah.
Right. What have we got next? Fantasy football.
My favourite time of the week, Darryl.
People can get involved. Have they been getting in touch?
People have been getting in touch,
Good.
actually. We have, well, actually, before we get to that, Darryl, manager of the week, it's usually Darryl. Wasn't, what was it last week?
I can't remember.
Don't try to rub it in, sorry,
been a long
Darryl.
week.
But it's Stephen Craigan this week. Craig's top of the pile. There he is, there's his team.
Decent team as well he's got
He's
there.
a good centre half for Impong. Can you imagine him cleaning out headers and things? Yeah.
It's not that specific,
Yeah.
I don't think.
He was a top centre half, Stephen, though, do you know what I mean? So he's well placed to
Say
know,
that,
Chris, you
yeah.
know?
Canberra in 24 points.
Absolutely, and here's the manager of the league, the celebrity league. So Darryl's still leading the way.
He's catching me.
He is catching, you know, but still leading the way.
More to the point, look at Farmers United down in 14th there. I mean, he's not a distance away. He's
Yeah, I need
miles
to-
and
I
miles
need
and
to
miles
make a-
away.
I need to make a few transfers. I plant trees, Darryl. I don't have time to change my team every week. I'm saving the world.
Feed the animals.
Yeah, but yeah,
9 horses, 12 dogs.
I mean, the strange thing is if I really pull my finger out, I'll probably win it.
I think you probably should.
He's a good right winger, Chris, doesn't he? He's
That's
good.
it. Well, considering he's not changed his team, he's done okay there.
What's McClellan? Who? I don't think I picked him. I
Yeah,
think that was
no, you did.
That's a finger error.
Conor McLennan, then you can sub him out.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah. What's he doing?
Before you next come on, we'll get a few changes.
Yeah.
Good. Alan, I think we've got your team as well.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I think I've done okay this week. I
Is
had
that-
Davis and all, no points. And Campbell, I didn't change them, you see, that was the same from last week.
Yeah.
For someone
I've
who
changed
plays
Bearer.
every week, that is really awful,
Where?
isn't it? Well, you're not doing well, are you?
Why
Well,
not?
I wouldn't boast about that.
215
Why not?
points this week, I think is more than acceptable.
Do you?
Yeah.
And you've got low standards, Darryl.
Well, you wouldn't know if you look at my
Where's
score.
Dan? Where are you in this?
Chris, I'm just more a mediator here. It would be a bit unfair if I join in, I think. Too much up there. I don't want to...
You're not in that league.
Too much going on
We
up
actually,
there.
there's a Talking team in that league, right? But I don't want to cop out here. Johnny is in control of it.
Ah,
All right, I don't wanna come
where
back.
are you in the league?
Yeah.
It's a great question, this.
That is a good
So,
question.
so
You've been
where
quiet
are
about
you?
this for
We're
weeks.
sort of mid-table. We're above Farmers United, I know that, Chris.
Well, that's not hard.
There's not many people below that, let's
No.
be honest.
Who is below?
We should say that the actual team of the week overall, Yoda's Rebel Alliance,
Good name, that.
334.5 point haul, which is a very good return. We should say
Naismith in as captain. That was shrewd.
very shrewd indeed.
Lucky.
But man, I actually kind of agree with Chris here, a wee bit lucky because you know.
But you can select
No, I
that.
don't
It's
know,
not
you know.
lucky
No,
because they
lucky.
knew
I mean,
started
he's
selected
been
after
out
2 p.m.
injured.
Yeah, but you can select that at 2 p.m. on
Yeah,
Saturday
got
when you
lucky.
knew the lineups.
Did you think he'd do well at the weekend, Naismith?
That's why he was in my team.
Did you really pick him?
I did.
Did you?
32 points.
Yeah, well done.
I'm not giving you enough
It was
credit.
a first in 7 years. I hope we got that on tape.
Did you really pick him?
Did you?
Saying well done. That's
I
impressive.
got another one. This is incredible. We might edit one out just for effect here. What?
sorry,
Team of the week,
just-
overall leaders and all that kind of stuff. What else you got?
So the formidable Diego
Yeah.
has been usurped again.
Can't believe it.
Stranraer Select is on top, and we've been actually contacted.
Stranraer Select.
Hislop Neil on
Oh, so we know
Twitter.
who this is.
Yeah,
His Lop Neil.
Neil's been in touch. Sorry, at Hislop Neil on Twitter. So Neil's been in touch. He's saying, "Stop talking about Diego. If you want me to come on, I'll come on." So Neil, maybe we'll do that. Maybe
I
we'll
sense
get
a
him on.
FaceTime call coming.
Absolutely, get
At
him on.
some
Get him
point.
to divulge his secrets. Maybe Chris, you could get a notepad that week and take a few.
Yeah, I'd like that, yeah.
Absolutely.
Enjoy that.
And as you can see, he's got Cosgrove up top, and just a quick one, Darren.
Well, I'm glad you
look
brought
forward
this
to
up.
So we've spotted this on social media. Ramsey Graham on Instagram. He's actually raising it for, he's trying to raise money for cancer research.
It's a great cause.
Yeah, but Sammy Crosgrove, Ballon d'Or, and a little sheep on his backside.
That is his backside, guys.
Yeah, it's a good crack.
Tattoo.
Good crack, good crack.
I hope that washes off.
Well, I think that is permanent. Maybe he'll win it once. Then it'll really come good. Have any of you guys got any tattoo?
No.
No.
Good looking sheep though, isn't it?
Alan, you were very
I knew you'd respond to the sheep.
Right now.
says Farmers United.
Exactly. Exactly.
You were
What
very
type of
quiet
sheep
there.
is that, Chris?
What breed?
Alan asked about tattoos there. You looked away
I've,
quickly.
no, I was wanting to see what Chris's response was. Yeah, I have one.
Right.
It's not an animal though.
What are we going to guess what it is?
Should we do this for next week's show?
No,
Yes,
no.
Alan's tattoo.
Mine's not just any type of tattoo. Mine was obviously when I was going through my cancer, I had a tattoo
Ah, good.
for that. So it wasn't.
So it means something.
Yeah,
Always to
yeah,
you. Good.
yeah.
That's
So
the way
that's
they
what it
should be.
was.
And Chris, none on you. I'm surprised at that.
Well, to be honest, it's none of your business. Anyway, yeah. So, but no, I haven't.
So he's got one.
No, I don't. No. Danny, you look like a guy who'd have a
No,
tattoo.
not one, Chris, not
Really?
one. No.
Surprised at that.
Why?
I just am. You look like a.
Does it look as if he's been in jail or something?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
If you have a beard, I think beards, tattoos go together.
Right, on that note, I think we should end this show, if I'm honest. Get in touch though next week. How do they do it?
Absolutely. So hashtag Ladbrokes Social Club as ever on Twitter and on Facebook, on Instagram if that's your thing. If you want to get in touch with Fantasy Football, it's at LadsPFF on Twitter, at LadbrokesPFF on Instagram.
Good. Guys, thank you very much. Enjoyed that today. We're back in Scotland next week. We'll see you again after the internationals. Bye for now.